Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another brand new video, and today we are going to be rebuilding Napoli, a team I've wanted to be rebuilding for absolutely ages. Finally got around to it, so let's get into it. Before we do though, guys, please do leave this video a like. The last rebuild, absolutely, you guys smashed it, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content. But let's get into the first season of transfers and see how we do. Before we do get into things though, guys, this is pretty much a little rundown of Napoli, obviously, as a club. Media prediction is actually going to be 5th, which I think is definitely achievable with this team. They already have some great players going forward. And to be honest, the transfer budget, I know it's not going to be a lot, but it's definitely something we can work with. And to be honest, we don't really need to sign too many players within the first season, possibly only a couple, if that. As you can see here, this is the team that we are going to have. Obviously, we've got Merit, Di Lorenzo, Brahimi, Jesus, Roy, Fabian, Zielinski, Anguzia. I'm not going to pronounce that left wing, so I always butcher it. Asimhem, obviously one of the best strikers in the game. And Lozano, also some good players on loan as well. The tactic I'm going to be using, I am going to show you, but it's not going to be that is for sure. The tactic I actually did end up using is going to be massive shout out to Hood Gaming and also GYRFM. I am going to, if I remember, leave a link to the video from Hood Gaming's channel for this tactic, and also GYRFM's Twitter page, because I believe he makes the tactics, Hood Gamer makes the videos on them. If I am wrong, then I do apologise, but I think that's how it works. I want to test out this new tactic because his 4-2-3-1s are very, very good, guys. If you haven't used them, do go and check them out. In my opinion, if you're after a balanced tactic that can do a bit of everything, this is going to be the tactic for you guys, to be honest. It's genuinely one of the best tactics I've used, and you guys are going to see and get a good rundown over 5 seasons how this does with a variety of different players. And obviously, Napoli aren't the favourites to win the league by any means of the imagination right off the bat anyway, so let's see how it's done in the first season. Before we do get into it, the first season though, guys, and actually see how we did, manage to finish, we're going to do a little bit of transfers, talk about the finances a little bit. So we did get given, as you can see here, 13.2 million, which isn't a lot of money, but as I did say, and I do like to keep saying this, Napoli have a very good team from the start, guys. Like, you don't need to sign loads of players, but we did sign a player because obviously I did say we're going to try and bring in at least one, and that player is going to be Guardio. He did cost us a bit of money. He cost us around £60 million, but this is what you spend on a player like this. He is valued more than what we actually paid for him in the first place. But this guy's 20 or 19, I'm going to say 21. He's 19. He can play a variety of roles. He can play on the left. He can play in the centre-back position. Very, very good. Obviously, his media description is a wonder kid, but you don't need that media description to know this guy's ability. Obviously, he's a very good player for Leipzig in real life as well. Definitely a little bit of progressing to do in real life, but on this game, honestly, one of the best players you can sign. Very, very good defender, and that is why he slots right into this team. Probably will be a centre-back more than the full-back position, but nevertheless, a fantastic signing and a player that I'm glad we were able to bring in. So, that is going to be the first season simulator, guys, and what a season this has been. I mean, honestly, what a season. We managed to win the Serie A title by a point, just to clarify, but we dominated the goals, 103 goals scored, and the third best at conceding, only letting in 35 goals. And that is the area which we probably could strengthen in the future. But I mean, to be honest, it's not only the Serie A we done well in. We managed to win the Coppa Italia. I know it might not be the most competitive trophy, but we managed to win that as well, and Europa League against Leicester City, with Asimhem scoring 45 goals, which is honestly an outrageous stat for his first season. Politano getting the highest match rating and the most assists as well. Again, we've got quite good wingers right off the rip. We've got Politano, you've got Lozano, very good wingers that we have at the club. And again, I'm going to shout out the tactic because you do have to give it credit. It's not just the signings that make these rebuilds, it's not just the signings that make these rebuilds work. You need the right tactics. Like I said, I like to use a mix of my own and other people's tactics because it's really the only time I get a chance to use other people's. So again, a massive shout out. And what a result. Again, I still can't believe it, like in our first season. As you can see down there as well, we've got a little bit more of a budget. If we go over, we're going to have a little look at some of the stats, because this is what we like to do. We like to break down the stats and sort of, see exactly who performed well, who didn't, see where we can strengthen. We've got, obviously, I've just seen that stat there. We've got, obviously, but we're going to talk over the goals first. So we've got 23 coming from Politano, 45 for Asimhem, Zielinski coming in with 16, 11 for Rahami. we have got, we'll go with the big numbers. 19 coming from Lozano, a player who I'm a big fan of, I must say. 8 goals also coming in from Elmas, who is our backup left mid, but his potential is honestly ridiculous. So he probably will one day be the first team left-hand side midfielder, and I am more than happy with that. In terms of assists, we've got 26 coming from Politano. He had one hell of a season. Obviously the best match rating, I believe. Yep, the best match rating indeed. Very well deserved as well. We've got 19 coming from Zielinski, again, our attack and playmaker, a player who does so well in that role. And if we go to Lozano, sorry, nearly got that wrong, not Lozano. We've got 11 coming from him and 10 coming from Elmas. Elmas is a player I am really excited to use because although he's not cemented in that left-hand side right away, he will get there. He just needs a few seasons to sort of cement that first team position. And once he does, it's going to be a joy to watch him play. It really is. But moving on, so that's going to be the stats covered. But before we do get into the next season, I want to show you how much we got given. So we got given 32.8 million. Let's just say 33 million. Now, anyone that plays Football Manager is aware that you can work wonders with a transfer budget. Obviously, you can do add-ons, you can do installments, you can do after-match appearances, you know, all this type of stuff. So realistically, I don't want to put the club in too much debt, but if we do see a player on the market, which we do, you know, possibly do need to use installments to get, I will be doing it, because at the end of the day, we are trying to build this team to the best of the ability. And at the end of the day, it happens in real life all the time. You see these installments getting added on, these add-ons, so that will be happening if needed. But overall, that's not actually a horrific budget. It's not a bad budget for Napoli to give us after the first season. Granted, we did win the league, we won the treble, so do I think it's deserved? Yeah, I think it's deserved. If I was an owner of a football club and I saw a manager win everything they could possibly win, you've got to back the manager at the end of the day. It just makes sense. So let's get into season 2 of the transfers then. I'm going to show you guys this screen now, not just the actual player in depth, so you can see exactly what happened all the way around. So we actually turned to Borussia Dortmund to bring in a Kanji for 40 million. So to be honest, we didn't actually even use installments because we did sell Jesus or Jesus, however you say that, at centre-back, just because he's a little bit older and we didn't really need him too much. So overall, a very good bit of business. We didn't end up putting the club in any financial strain, and we brought in one hell of a player, which is going to be, sorry, didn't mean to skip that, is going to be a Kanji. And this guy is honestly incredible. If we highlight some of this stuff, so you're talking tackling's going to be sat at 16, you've got his balance at 17, he's very quick as well, very strong, reasonable height. And one of the things that really does stand out to me, despite all of these fantastic attributes, is his age. He's only 26, so he's got a lot of years in him, and he is valued a little bit more than what we paid for him as well. And this guy slots into the team, as you might have got a little glimpse of there, with ease. So this is going to be the team going into the next season, and I'm very excited to use it, guys. It's a great team. We've got Mere, we've got Lozano, we've got Akanji, Guardio, Rui, we've got Fabian, Angusia, Zielinski, Politano, Lozano, and Asimhen. And obviously the bench as well is reasonably good. There's some names I'm not even going to try because I will butcher them, but feel free to have a little look down here because we do have some great players on the bench as well. And I honestly think with this tactic, with this team is more than capable of winning the title back-to-back, and hopefully we can. So let's simulate the next season and see exactly how we get on. Well, season 2 has been simulated, and there's a lot of red around here. There is a lot of red, but let's just analyze it a little bit. So first off, we managed to maintain the title, which is a massive accomplishment. We actually do have 3 points on Inter Milan this time, which is a bit of an improvement. We were the best at conceding, only conceding 25, and also scoring 104, ranking us the best goal scorers in the division as well. So that Akanji signing instantly has helped secure us up at the back and made us the best at conceding, only conceding 25. We also managed to win the Super Cup. Now, this is the bit. Let's go over the losses. So the semi-finals against Inter Milan, I'm a bit gutted about because I do feel like we can handle them in the league, so why can't we do it in the Champions League? It's a bit gutting because we could have at least got to the final. We lost to the Super Cup against PSG. PSG are a powerhouse. I'm not expecting to beat them just yet. And this one's a bit disappointing as well in the Coppa Italia against Roma. So a little bit disappointing. But again, I'm not going to be too annoyed because we did win 2 trophies still. And the main one at the moment is just to keep winning this Serie A title. I want to dominate Italy. That's all I want to dominate. So hopefully next season we can also win the Italian Cup and maybe progress in European football again. But don't forget, we managed to win Europa League last season. So we are still doing very well and more than on track for European success. And top goal scorers then. Let's do a little bit of this. We've got Lozano coming in with 29. We've got Politano again getting the highest match rating. This guy is just a player that puts in a shift. I mean, he's a very, very good player and a player that I love having in the team. So let's go over to the transfers then. We have been given 89 million. Now, there is a reason for this, and this reason is very annoying because I did not actually make the decision. And I don't know if you guys have clocked it yet. You might start thinking now because you might clock onto it to why we've got this amount of money. It is very annoying. Let me just tell you that. But let's go over some of the stats then. This is going to give the clue away because see if you guys can clock on. Comment below if you guess what happened because I'm very interested to see if you guys clocked on. But we've got 20 goals coming in for Politano, 12 coming in for Zielinski. We've got 29 coming in for Lozano. We've got 16 coming in for Patanga. Again, a little hint to what possibly what happened. 16 coming in for Elmas. Again, a player that is constantly working to get into that first team. 11 assists coming in for Politano. 23 for Zielinski. Lozano coming in with 14. 11 for Lozano. 9 coming in for Elmas. 9 coming in for Fabian. And 6 coming in for... I'm not going to say it because I'll butcher it. I'm not going to make that mistake. But I'll give you guys a couple of seconds. Have a little guess at what happened because you're now about to see. That happened. Asimhem went to Chelsea for around 86, 83 million pounds. And it wasn't my decision. I wasn't even aware of this. I simulate the seasons. I come back. My striker position was empty. I was like, what's going on? I wondered if he got moved into the under-21s. Whatever happened, but... he went to Chelsea, and this is not my own fault because before I start a new season and before I show you guys the transfers, I always offer players new contracts that are close to expiry. And he wasn't close to an expiring contract, so what must have happened is he was either unhappy or possibly Chelsea come in and he just wanted the move and maybe the board allowed it. I didn't want to sell him because obviously he's one of the best strikers you can possibly get when it comes to this game. But it does give us a big transfer budget, but boy, we have got one hell of a transfer window to do now because we have got to replace what is almost a perfect striker. So let's get into the next transfer window and see how we managed, if we can manage, to replace Asimhem and sort of bolster this squad a bit. Before we do get into the third season though, or the third season of transfers, please do leave this video a like and comment below of what you think of the video so far. And please do subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and also if you guys do want to stay more in touch, possibly about giveaways, etc, etc, do follow the social medias. They can be found in the description below. I've got a Twitter page and an Instagram page for you guys to interact with me on. But let's get into the third season of the transfers and see how we do. So I'm just going to show you here the first page of the transfers because this is where we're going to see Asimhem. 86 million from Chelsea. The amount isn't the worst bit. Like, you probably could have got more for him, but it's more the player that we've lost. We've lost one hell of a player, and now we literally dealt the card of having to replace him. And this is going to be what you guys are going to see. So let's go over a couple of players that we decided to move on before we talk about all the players we brought in. So we also offloaded a few players there. The main one going to be Roux from Monaco coming in for a £22 million offer. Now, I got rid of him because he's an aging fullback, and I do want to sort of get rid of the older players and replace them with younger players who have got tons of potential. And we done that by bringing in... Now, you guys, I know you guys are going to slate me for the first one, but Martial is a perfect backup striker. He's not even that bad on Football Manager. And to be honest, you know, he's not good enough to start, but he can definitely fill a role on the bench. And for 7 million, I'm getting him in. So we got him in. We also decided to hit up Manchester United again to get over Donny van der Beek for £56 million, which I don't actually think is a bad signing at all. Again, he might not get into the team right away because we do have some very good midfielders, but it's a very good option to have on the bench, and not just on the bench, because he has got a very good potential to work into that team and cement his place in the starting 11. We then go over and sign Rafael Leao for £62 million. Again, a very, very good player, and a player who, if anyone can replace Asimhem, it's going to be Leao. They're very similar players. Obviously, Asimhem is probably a little bit ahead of him, but Leao isn't expected to come in and instantly get the numbers, but I do want to see him eventually become Asimhem's standard. That is for certain. And the last player we bring in is going to be Renan from Palmeiras for 11 million, who is a very, very, very good potential left back, and that is going to be the replacement for Roux. But let's go over and talk about some of these signings. So the first one is going to be Anthony Martial. Obviously, didn't cost us a lot of money. And is he going to be our best attacker? No. But he is going to be a great backup striker, and definitely our best backup striker. But his attributes are honestly very good. He's got great finishing, great technique, reasonably quick, reasonably tall as well. Good flair on him. And like I said, I didn't sign this guy to get me 30 goals a season. He is purely there because I know injuries will occur throughout a whole season. It always happens. That's football. So you need to have a backup striker, and this guy is going to be the best option for that. That was on the market and wasn't going to cost us too much. Moving on to Donny van der Beek then. Now this guy, I'm a huge fan of him. I want to see him thrive at Manchester United, but I decided to give him a chance to thrive at Napoli. And this guy again, you can see it here actually, this is a really good example. He isn't going to be our best midfielder by a long shot at the moment, but he is going to be a player who will get game time. I hope he does anyway, because he's one of them players which isn't that flashy. He isn't going to get you like 40 assists a season. He isn't going to be scoring wonder goals, but he's a very hard working player and he can play in a variety of roles. So if we do need to switch it up, I know that I've got a player that can fill in them roles and he's going to do a very, very good job. Again, as I said, no real standout stats, but what you get from him is a player that is going to give you everything, good at link up, you know, and that's just the role. So I'm going to be honest with you guys, he's 26 and the amount of roles he can play is the reason I brought him. I didn't buy him. I know he's not like a, you know, a Bellingham or a Camavinga, someone like that standard, but at the end of the day, he can do a job in midfield. Moving on to the man who hopefully is going to replace Asimhem long term, a man that is worth £94 million. We paid a little less, so we paid around 60, I believe. 24 years old, great ability, fantastic potential. Let's go over it then. So he's 6'2", so again, reasonable amount of height on him as well, which is a key thing to be honest, because I want a bit of height with my strikers sometimes. And at the end of the day, this guy isn't just about height either. He's very quick as well, considering his height. Off the ball is good flair, good technique. Finishing 14 could be better, but again, that can increase, that can become better. Dribbling again, very good. First touch, good. And like I said, this guy can do a little bit of everything. And I couldn't go ahead and afford an Mbappe, a Haaland. Obviously, I'm playing with an up-to-date database as well, so I couldn't sign them anyway. But this guy was on the market, so I thought, why not? I mean, he's a guy that I've used a lot on Football Manager, I must say, so I know I can trust him. But when I saw him on the market, obviously, we took him off AC Milan, so it weakens a team in the division, which is always a bonus. That's one bit of advice I'm going to just randomly plug in this episode. If you guys are playing in any league, try and sign a player in the same league. Weaken your rivals at the end of the day. If you can get good players, why not weaken the other teams around you? It makes sense. Then the last player that we're going to talk about is going to be Renan. Hope I'm saying that right. Again, he's a player that is sort of brought for the future purely, but he comes sort of pre-built. I mean, Carvalho probably will end up playing there, but his tackling 16, he's reasonably quick, and he's quite tall for a fullback. 6'1", and he's only 21. We paid next to nothing for him, and he's just a player who can sort of one day cement his place into that first team and probably become one of the best players in the Serie A in that position. So hopefully he can live up to that. But like I said, I'm going to give him a few seasons to settle in, and hopefully we can sort of, you know, develop him into one of the best fullbacks in the league. So this is going to be the third season of results, and again, this is a lot better because, I mean, we managed to win the league again, so that's 3 times we've won it. We won it a triple, back to back to back to back. We've also managed to win the Champions League against PSG and the Super Cup against Atalanta. Unfortunately, fallen in the Coppa Italia again, but do I mind? Not at all, because at the end of the day, we have got the Champions League in the 3rd season. It's honestly incredible stuff. Best goals, I guess I was going to say best goals conceded. Best goals scored again, 107. Goals conceded, only 31. So again, we've fallen off a little bit with that, but still with the 2nd best in the division. It didn't really affect us conceding a few more. We still managed to maintain the title, but this time we dominated the league. 97 to 2nd place is 82. We've got Lozano and Martial. There you go. So you guys that did slate me, Martial got joint top goal scorer in his 1st season. Let's actually go into the stats because I'm very curious here. So we've got Politano with 21 goals. We've got 10 coming in for Rahami. Zielinski coming in with 15. We've got 26 for Martial, 26 for Lozano, 23 for Rafael Leao, 10 for Elmas as well. Assists, we've got 24 for Politano. We've got Lorenzo coming in with 20. We've got 17 for Zielinski. Carvalho coming in with 10. 8 for Lozano and 8 for Leao. So it's actually going to be Martial outscoring Leao in his 1st season. I feel like that's something probably me and you watching couldn't predict. But Martial has clearly lit this league alight, and fair play. I mean, it's good to see, I guess. I was expecting Leao to sort of shine, but considering he's already playing in this division, but Martial, I'm not going to complain. Maybe he got more game time than Leao. We don't know, do we? We don't know. But overall, a very good season, as we can see here again. I mean, it's pretty much flawless apart from the Coppa Italia. So, I mean, let's see how much money we got. £93 million. Now, this is going to be a ridiculous amount to spend, considering we can use installments as well. And this is going to be the one season I'm going to say to you guys, I am going to go out and I'm going to spend a lot of money because I want to bring in quite a few players to really push this team into not only dominating, you know, Italy, but trying to dominate the whole of football, Europe, the entire lot. I know we've just won the Champions League, but the top teams, you look at City in real life, they win the Premier League, they still strengthen. Just because you win something doesn't mean you stay there. You have to strengthen always, and that is what we're going to do. So let's get into the 4th season of the transfers, and hopefully I can come back to you guys with some business and hopefully some new players in this team. So then, this is going to be season 4 of the transfers, and it's a lot of money spent, I know. It's £240 million spent, but hear me out. We had 93. I also offloaded Politano purely because he is getting older, and we had a fantastic offer come in from Manchester City for 51 million, which we snapped up just like that. But we did bring in, we'll talk about these players as we sort, we're going to go a bit more in depth with the players. We'll do a quick rundown. I brought in Stefan for a backup goalkeeper from Man City for 9.5 million. We then hit Milan again for 2 players. We go for Tamori, a fantastic centre-back, £58 million, which I don't actually think is too bad. We then also managed to get Tonali from them. What are they doing selling 2 of their best players? I don't know. 65 million, sorry, for Tonali. No installments there paid out. And we also had 39 million paid for Fernan Torres. Just because the thing is, I couldn't, 1, because of the money, but 2, Politano was a good player, but Torres, although he's a little bit worse, we do already have a player filling that position. So it was purely about getting a player that can fill in, you know, as a backup player and also can compete to get in that left-hand side. We didn't have the money again to go out and sign like a Mane or, you know, one of these top wingers that come to your head right off the bat, and Neymar and Mbappe. We ain't got the money to do it. So we had to bring in someone. Because when I say we ain't got the money, I know it sounds quite hypocritical considering we spent 240 million. But with that money, we brought in 5 players who were going to bolster this squad ridiculously. If we went out and spent 200 million on one player, we'd be an idiot. We'd literally be strengthening one position. So that is why I wanted to spend this money on sort of 4 to 5 players. Luckily, we managed to get 5. And that is also where Samuel Ricci comes in, or Ricci comes in from Torino for 73 million after add-ons. And it is expensive, but this guy is one hell of a player. But let's get into it then. So Stefan obviously is going to be a lot more, he's going to be a backup goalkeeper. He knows that as well. Agreed playing time, got agreed as a backup. He's a lot more better than our previous backup. He didn't cost a lot of money. He's got good one-on-ones, good reflexes, reasonably tall. And again, when I say a good backup, by the way, I mean, our first choice goalkeeper isn't that great, but it's just, he isn't making too many errors. So I'm not going to replace him purely based off a star. You know, I'm not going to look at the stars and think, yeah, I need to get rid of him purely because of that. But he does need a little bit of competition and backup. So that is where Stefan comes in. We then bring in Tamori, who is one hell of a defender. One hell of a defender. He really is a joy to watch. And he is going to instantly slot in alongside of Akanji, I would imagine, depending on how the assistant manager does decide to play things out. But this guy, I mean, what a season he had in real life at AC Milan. He's only 26. He's 6'1". Very, very quick. One of the quickest centre-backs in the division. Great tackling as well. And again, only being 26, he's got years and years of football to play. And alongside of Akanji, another centre-back who is reasonably quick and very strong. These two are going to be a nightmare to break, down. And to be honest, wow, I mean, I wouldn't want to face them. Any striker that goes against these two is going to have their hands full because they're going to be such a nightmare to attack against. They really are. Moving on then to Tonali. Obviously, we all know Tonali is a fantastic midfielder, a player who can play a variety of roles in that midfield to a very high standard. And everything about him is just good. His attributes are fantastic. He's got great technique, great teamwork, great positioning, great anticipation, great concentration. You could go over this guy tens of thousands of times and talk about how good he is. But this guy is definitely going to get in the first team. Obviously, there is a lot of competition. I will say that. There is a lot of competition in that midfield role. But him and Fabian are probably going to slot in as the 2. And then Agusia, obviously, is going to be very close. But probably will just be on the bench to start with. Obviously, Tonali costs us a fair bit, but he is valued at a fair bit as well. So I wouldn't say we got ripped off. Moving on then to Fernand Torres, a player who, again, isn't in the rankings. Obviously, I think it's going to be Elmas that is going to start on that left-hand side, if not possibly Martial, who can also play there. But this was a signing, he isn't world-class, I know. I know he's got the elite winger media description, but he's not like a Vincius or, you know, a Mane, one of these top players. But he is a player that is going to have a lot about him, hopefully, in the future. He's only 24 as well, and he's also he's not going to be relied upon to, you know, dominate that wing. So we have got other players, sorry, not positions, that is capable and are doing a good job. This is a perfect chance for Elmas to come in and cement that position and hopefully sort of just dominate that left-hand side, because that is why I got rid of Politano as well, because I did want to see Elmas come in, and Elmas was a player that was contributing every single season, and this is going to be his chance to sort of get in that first team and show me what he can do. And obviously, if he isn't capable, we already have a player here in Fernand Torres, Ferran Torres, sorry, and to be honest, I'm not fussed who dominates that left-hand side. I'm hoping the outcome I personally want is for Elmas to be the clear favourite, and then Torres be on the backup when needed, and possibly if there's an injury, he can obviously go into that team. Then we're going to go over to Ricky, who is going to be the last signing, and this guy is expensive, but again, just look at the options we have in midfield now. Again, Torino weren't really a title favourite, but it is weakening the side. This guy is ridiculous. He's 22 years old. Ability is fantastic. Potential is 4.5 star. And everything about him is very good. Good stamina, good balance, good agility, good anticipation, good decisions, good vision, good passing. Everything. He's just a very well-balanced midfielder. Someone that I've not signed on Football Manager before as well. So if you guys have used him before, do comment below and let me know how he got on for you. For me, I'm going to hope he does get a few starts, because he's definitely too good to be sitting on the bench. I would like him to be sort of rotating in alongside of Fabian. So I'd like Tonali to start every game, and if possible, Ricky and Fabian sort of start a game each, or, you know, you see who plays best can play. At the end of the day, that's how it works. But in these top divisions, especially when you want to be winning Champions Leagues and things like this, you need to have a lot of depth. So that is what I've tried to do. And this is what the team looks like, guys, going into the 4th season. I mean, it's outrageous, isn't it? You have got Mere in goal, you've got Lorenzo at right back, you've got Akanji, Tamori, Guvardio at left back, Fabian, Tonali, Lozano, Zielinski, Elmas and Leao on the bench. You've got Torres, Reynan, Ricky, Martial, Van der Beek, loads of other players as well. And what I've done very well with this rebuild, and I think you guys will agree, is I've got rid of the older players and replaced them with sort of younger players, possibly mid-20 players who have got a good 5 to 6 years in them before you do look to offload them and see any sort of decline. But let's get into the 4th season and see exactly how we do. And hopefully we can carry on winning the Serie A. Because if we do, we're on course at the moment for winning it 5 times running. So let's see how the 4th season goes. Before we do get into the 4th season though, guys, if you are enjoying this video still, please do leave it a like and comment below who your favourite signing that I've made is. But let's get in to the 4th season and hopefully win the Serie A. So this is going to be the 4th season then, guys, and we have won a lot of stuff. I'm going to put it like that. We managed to win the Super Cup against Tottenham. Not a big trophy. Unfortunately, you get knocked out to Man City, but it is Man City in the Champions League, which is a bit gutting considering the signings we made. But we do manage to bounce back by winning the Serie A again 4 times running. We won the Coppa Italia as well, and also the Super Cup. So we have dominated Italy this season. We've got Lozano coming in again with top goal scorer. One thing I am seeing with this tactic, which I do like, this isn't a dig, you don't really have one all-and-out top goal scorer. Everyone chips in, and that is a really good thing about this tactic, because it means that you haven't got to rely on one person purely firing on all cylinders every single game. But 109 goals scored, ranking us the best. 30 conceded, which isn't a lot. Second best again, which again doesn't matter, because like I said, we do manage to win the Serie A again, with Juventus coming in 2nd place, Sassuolo coming in 3rd place, which is quite nice to see. A bit of a change. AC Milan, no surprise, coming in 9th place, because they're selling their entire team to me. So I mean, why they're doing that, I have no idea. But moving on then, so some of the stats we have got. Well, let's go for the assists first. We'll switch things up. We've got 23 assists coming in for Zielinski. We've got 15 from Tonali, very good considering he's a deep sort of midfielder. 14 coming in from Rafael Leao, 7 coming in from Lozano, 9 from Fabian, 8 from Torres, quite impressive. And let's go over the goals then. We've got 11 for Zielinski. We have got 9 coming in for Akanji from centre-half, very impressive. Tonali with 7 as well. 6 for Samori. So, I mean, our centre-backs contributing from set pieces, I imagine, as well. We have got 22 coming in for Leao, which is very good. 24 for Lozano. 16 coming in for Torres in his first season. He's very good considering I guarantee he didn't start all the games. He probably didn't, considering Elmas also contributed with 4 assists and 11 goals. And also Martial coming in with 13. Martial has been one hell of a signing for 7 million. I don't care what anyone says. It was a bit of a gamble because I know obviously United is not doing the best. But when I saw him for 7 million, I had to back him. I just had to back him. And I'm glad I did at the end of the day. He's doing all right for himself, isn't he? But this next sort of season, or the last season, is going to be purely about sort of possibly bringing in one more world-class player just to change some of these players from average to world-class. So we'll see what the options are. We have got 67 million to spend. So let's see what we can do with it and hopefully bring in... I'm going to try and bring in a world-class attacker midfielder if I can. We do have good players. I'm going to try and bring in an all-and-out proper baller, top player, and see exactly who we can get. If I can, I'd like to get someone like a Musiala. I'm going to be honest. We'll see what we can do in the next transfer window. So, Season 5 of the transfers has been done, and we have brought in Kai Havertz for 125 million. One of the best young players coming up in this game and probably in real life, as long as, you know, he sticks, you know, he stays consistent, he carries on the way that he is progressing. But we also do sell Zielinski to Monaco for 53 million. And this was a perfect bit of timing coming in from Monaco. They've purchased a couple of our players now. But Zielinski is 32, or was 32. Probably a bit older now. But the reason why we've done this is because we're getting rid of one sort of Asian player who was very good. We've replaced him with a player who is better and also younger in Kai Havertz. This guy is honestly incredible. He's valued at around 245 to 267 million pounds. And I'm just going to let you guys just soak in the attributes for a minute. Because, I mean, this guy is ridiculous. Everything is finishing, dribbling, first touch, technique, vision, off the ball, flair, decisions, composure, agility, everything. I'm not going to read out everything, but this guy is nuts. He's also quite tall as well. 6'1", and he's only 26. So, I mean, this guy has probably got, you know, 6 or 7 years before you really look to move him on, as we did with, instantly forgot the name, with Zielinski. But, I mean, it is a lot of money to spend, and I know some of you guys don't like to see it when I do bring in expensive players, but the way we've been winning, we have won so many trophies. If this was to happen in real life, the board would back them, as a Man City owner did. We have got owners that are willing to pump money into the club, so I'm going to take advantage of it and sign players. And that makes our team look like this. And this team, I mean, this team's incredible, right? You've got Mere. The only position I actually say, which we possibly could have upgraded again, is going to be the goalkeeper. But he doesn't really make too many errors. So we have got Mere. We have got Lozano. Hope I'm saying that right all this time. Samori, Akanji, Guardio, Fabian, Tonali, Torres, Kai Havertz, Elmas, Leao, and on the bench we have got Reynan, we have got Angucia, Lozano, Barami, Ricci, Katanga, Ostergaard, Van der Beek, Martial, Leviara. I'm not going to try and say that, Zanoli, and Labacota. And these players have done so well to get to where they are. And hopefully in this last season, we can sort of finish it off by winning the division. If we win it again, that's going to be the first time in any rebuild we have won the title 5 times running. It's never been done before on this channel. Not saying it's never been done before in history, but on this channel, never been done. So let's get into the 5th season and see if we can, you know, break a record. Hopefully we can win the Serie A 5 times on the bounce. So history has been made. We have won the Serie A 5 times back to back. I'm not even going to do that. We won the Serie A 5 times running. We've won the Coppa Italia and the Super Cup. We did slip up to Bayern, but Bayern are a bit of a juggernaut in the Champions League. 113 goals scored, ranking us the best, and only conceding 28, ranking us second best again for, I believe, the 3rd season running. But that is still a very good stat line. We managed to win the Serie A by an absolutely outrageous amount of points. I mean, absolutely dominated it this season round. Inter Milan coming in 2nd place with 79 points. It's actually going to be Torres, which is quite nice to see, being top goal scorer. Tonali with most assists from a sort of more defensive midfielder position, so very good to see as well. Going into the stats then, let's do the assists again first. We've got 10 for Lozano, 20 for Tonali. We've got 12 coming in from Kai Havertz, 10 coming in for Guardio at centre-back, which is very good to see. 14 for Lozano, We've got 9 coming in from Leao. We've got 12 coming in from Torres. Any big numbers here? 6 coming in from, that is going to be Angusia, I believe. Goals then, we have got 22. We've got 8 first coming in from Tomori, 22 from Havertz. He had a very good season, considering, I mean, it's literally his first season in Italy. A very good season indeed. We've got 25 coming in for Lozano, 14 for Patanga coming in, 24 for Leao. Did I say assists? I said assists, didn't I? Goals. I hope I didn't say assists for Havertz. I do apologise if I did. 22 goals for Havertz, 25 for Lozano, 14 for Patanga, 24 for Leao, 30 for Torres. Now, I wasn't expecting Torres to even play that many games, but he actually played 53. So, where's Almas on this list then? Almas played 27, 20 as a sub, still scoring 14. So, very good for him. So that's exactly what I wanted. And if we go onto this screen now, we're going to have a little breakdown of exactly what we've left them with. And this is what we've left them with. And this left-hand side, I feel like I've dealt with it very well. Because we've got, obviously, Torres, who, where is he down here? He's actually on, that could be what's happened. The assistant manager, I think, has been playing Torres on the right-hand side, which he can play. So this is what the manager has been playing then. We've got Mere, Lozano, Tomori, Akanji, Gvardiol, Fabian, Tonali, Torres, Havertz, Elmas, Leao, and on the bench we've got Stefan, Reynan, Angusia, Lozano, Rahami, Riki, Patanga, Van der Beek, Martial. I mean, the way we left this squad is honestly very good. There's a lot of younger players, sort of mid-20s as well, but this squad is definitely set for the next sort of 4 to 5 years. So the next manager to come in has got a lot of time before he has to start reinvesting into the squad majorly, because pretty much every position is filled with a player that is either world-class or definitely elite. So, I mean, what a team we have built here, and we have worked absolute miracles. And to win the Serie A 5 times, you know, without slipping up once, considering especially the first season where we only were able to make 1 signing, just shows how good we were with this rebuild making signings. And again, massive shout out for this tactic. Definitely going to use it again. It's very good. Obviously, there are a lot of teams that you don't want to play a 4-2-3-1 with, especially like if you possibly got 3 great centre backs. You want to whip out a 3 at the back, a 5 at the back. If you guys do want to play a bit of a traditional, well-balanced tactic, this tactic is a very, very, very good tactic to use. But going over some of the milestones, as we always like to do, we obviously were hired in 2021. We managed to win the Coppa Italia, the Serie A, and the Europa League in our first season. So that first season was one hell of a season. We only signed 1 player, and we actually managed to win the treble. Moving on to the 2023 season, it was a little bit more of a, I'd say, a quiet season. I mean, we won the Super Cup and the Serie A, so we ended up, you know, winning 1 less trophy, but still maintaining that Serie A trophy. 2024, a lot going on here. We've got the Super Cup winners. We entered the Italian Hall of Fame, won the Serie A again, entered the English Hall of Fame. So 2 Hall of Fames entered in 2024. Won the Champions League, which is a very good achievement considering it's our 3rd season, and also the Super Cup. So we won the quadruple that season. The 2025 season, we managed to win the Super Cup, managed to win the... This is what I mean. Like, I'm still in shock we managed to win the Serie A again. So that's the 4th time we won it in that season. Coppa Italia, the Serie A, as I mentioned, and also the FIFA Club World Cup winners. So again, winning a treble, a quadruple, sorry, in that season. And the last season, we managed to win the Serie A for the 5th time again. We managed to win the Coppa Italia again and the Super Cup again. So over these 5 years, we have won pretty much everything. We've won the Europa League, won the Champions League, won the Italian League, won the Italian Trophy. What else is there? The World Cup, or the Club World Cup we've won, the Super Cup. We have won pretty much everything that is available to us. Like, if we were in the Europa Conference League, we probably would have won that as well. So we were at a point where we could have won literally everything in football. But that is one hell of a season. Like I said, we're going to go over it. This is the team we've left them with, and it is one hell of a team. It really is. If you guys have enjoyed this rebuild, please do leave this video a like. Be sure to comment below what team you want to see next, and do subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the content. It helps the channel grow. It also helps the videos get found. And if you do want to see more content come from myself, you don't want to miss it, please do hit the notification bell as well. This way you're never going to miss when I upload, when I live stream, when I premiere a video, or do a community post. That is going to be it for me today though, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.